really sure if I'm audible, but let's see. Right, let's hear myself. I'm audible, but yeah, I am. Let me just leave the track so I cannot enter anymore. Let's get back to spectate and get all the information on. Right, I think that's about it. Do we have one? We are stuck in one camera angle. Right, let's just get started. So, hello everyone. This is Seasor here, and yeah, welcome to pre-season race here for Proximity Racing League. We are about to start season 1 as Tashi goes into the wall. Had a bit of a collision with PXT, if I may call him. I'll just keep the camera angle to this. Right, so letting the skinny through. So yeah, so this is the first race that we are running along with the guys who have signed up for Proximity Racing League. And mind you, this is just a pre-season race, not the actual season. Actual season will begin next Sunday at 11 p.m. So we're just testing everyone out, what everyone's pace is, even though we have slight idea how quick everyone else is. Ancient Pleb, yeah, the guy who was the quickest in the pre-season time trial pro draft is on provisional pole with a 143.2, and I think it's safe to say with the messages that we shared on the chat that Ancient Pleb can be termed as the official sandbagger of proximity, but only time will tell how that is. The thing is, I'm not really sure if I can see on which compound of tires these guys are, as the video camera angle is still messed up. So yeah, it's a 5-minute quali. It still shows that 5 minutes are remaining, so I'm not sure how much time do we have left in the session. But anyways, Ancient Pleb is on provisional pole with a 143.2. I believe that's set on racing hards, and Flipper is right behind him, half a second behind, I'm sorry. So we have quite a few quick guys here. Abby to Speed, or Abhishek being one of them. He was one of the finalists, if you know, some of the guys don't know, he was one of the finalists in X1 Esports, and unfortunately he was not able to be in the top 3, but nevertheless he's still a really quick guy, along with, of course, few others. How many guys have set the lap time? So I think the actual lap times set in right now are by the top 5, and people below that, from P6, that Sheds to Hurry, Skinny, Stashy, and Fun Anywhere, I think they've just put in an outlap, sort of, judging by the time as Sheds drifts through the final corner. Not the best place to drift the car, because it's a really long straight and you need all the speed you can to gain maximum lap time into the corner, as Dr. White sets a 143.4, and that sends him up to P2. I believe he was already in P2, but Ancient Pleb goes even faster with a 142.5. So not surprised with his pace, and I think the session is over, even though it shows it's a minute remains, but we'll see. Skinny goes to P8 with a 148.7, and Stashy goes to P4 with a 143.7. So the gap, he's still behind by 1.2. Stashy, another quick guy, Ganeshan he is, top lad. He is in the Porsche, and I think the session is over. Everyone is really just cruising around the track. I'm not really sure who's left. I think everyone is over. Maybe everyone is out of fuel. Not really sure what's going on, but just over 30 seconds remaining. Fun Anywhere decides to not set any lap around, but everyone shuts 7 seconds off the pole time. Skinny is 6.2. Harry is 4 seconds off. PX, I'm not really sure how to pronounce that name, and I don't want to butcher it, so let's just keep it to PX. He's 2.4 seconds off. Abhishek, surprisingly, he's in P5, 1.5 seconds off. So that really shows the lap time that was put in by Pleb. Again, I'm not really sure what compound of tires they're using, but yeah, 1.5 seconds off. And Stashy, 1.2, and I think we are done with the qualifying. So it's race time. To let everyone know, this is a 30-minute endurance race. Tire weight is around 12 times, and fuel, if I'm not wrong, it's around 5. I might be wrong in the fuel, but tire, I'm pretty sure it's on 12. But I really need the replay camera angle, which I believe we have now, and I think it's a rolling start. Yes, it is. So everyone is far back. So we have 10 guys. Not a bad number considering the maximum amount of players we can have in this session is 16. I mean, I'm the 11th one, but I'm here in the com box for tonight, looking after of how people are driving. So how many are running? Okay, and I think the camera angle is messed up again. Okay, I'm unable to change my camera angle, so this won't help, but everyone is into turn 1 pretty safely. Okay, I cannot change my camera angle. Well, this is not good. This is definitely not good. Fun Anywhere is still on his grid spot. Oh, come on, game. What is this game? Can I change my camera angle? No, I can't. Yeah, I can see them. I mean, they're going pretty fast. That's what I can tell you right now. Ancient Pleb was in P1 and he's still in P1. Let me just try this. Exit the screen and join back in again. Yup, here we are working. So switch on the cameras. Oh, there's a big lag, and the Merc of PX just dives back in. So I'll just have a look as Abhishek has a 1.3 seconds penalty for reasons I don't. Let me just have a quick look at everyone in the front. Ancient Pleb is well off into the distance. Close battle for P2 between Dr. White, Flipper and Stashy. Stashy right on tail of Flipper, looking to make a move on this straight. We'll have to wait and see. Elsewhere, oh, Skinny's off on the final corner. Not really sure if there was an impact or someone bumped him, but this is the battle that we are looking for. Somehow I can't go on to Stashy. Okay, the timing sheets is really messed up right now, but Stashy looking for the move on the inside. Will he break late? Who will be the latest break of the both? And that's Stashy, but he goes really deep and makes slight contact with Dr. White, but he managed to make the move stick, and that allows Flipper to join in this battle for P2. For we'll stick to this battle for now. Oh, camera angle is looking pretty good now, so yeah, we can stick to this angle, and Flipper and Dr. White decides to stay in the same order for now. Further back, no battle as such, so really battle for P2 is the only battle on track that we have right now. And as all of them hit the wall on the right, and Flipper on the inside gets high speed and of course a draft from the Porsche of Stashy, and he makes and quite an easy move. But will Dr. White send it down the inside? No, he decides against it, breaks really early, and that's allowed Abhishek to close in the battle. So suddenly from 2 people fighting for P2, it's now turned into a battle for among 4 people for P2. So this is really turning out to be an interesting race. Can we see how the tire wear is? Yes, we can, and tire wear seems alright. Everyone seems to be on the hard compound tire, and distance wise I think Flipper is in a good position to defend this from White, as he will have slipstream from Stashy, and Stashy has a 7th and cap to P3, so I think all of them are pretty safe right now. Further back, no battle really, and Pleb is it's now over 4 seconds in front of Stashy, so showing his pace as he did in the Pro Draft time trial. So Unless he makes some massive mistake or his luck runs out, I don't see anyone else winning but Ancient Pleb. But again, coming back to the battle for P2, it's still pretty close between all of them, and all of them are in the different constructors, the different manufacturers. So we'll see which manufacturer comes out on top. Personally, I feel Stashy has the upper hand. He goes a bit deep into the grass. That should allow a better speed, or the exit speed, to Flipper, who seems to be closing in. But will he go for the move? He's close enough. He can send it down the inside. He will. He decides, let's have a look, but no. So decides against it. As Dr. White goes into the wall, was Abhishek. Yes, he has 8 seconds of penalty. So I think there was some collision made from Abhishek onto Dr. White. So not the best day for Abhishek in his Audi, or you can say tonight on this track. Maybe he didn't have a good amount of practice, not really sure, as Dr. White is flashing his lights. So clearly I think he's not happy with the driving shown here by Abhishek, and he just loses his car and got too eager to stay in the slipstream of PX, and he lost all the positions. So fighting for P2, now he's all the way down in P7. So not a really good start for him, as we are 5.5 minutes into the race. Order remain Ancient Pleb actually dominating the race from the start. 5 seconds is the gap now. He's pulling away a second a lap, and he's about to lap someone. I think that's who's in the blue car. Someone. Oh, okay, that was Ancient. I'm sorry, I was in the wrong car. So Ancient, yeah. Ancient Pleb is 5 seconds in front of Stashy. Stashy's now has a pretty, not pretty comfortable, but comfortable lead. Good enough to defend and break into the corners as he likes, and hold the racing line to be in his own race, as long as he keeps Flipper behind him. But Flipper, as we all know, the DRS, not the DRS actually, the draft in this game is pretty strong. Anything under 1.5 seconds and you are very much into the game. So battle for P2 will continue pretty soon. Further back down, PX is being closely followed by Abhishek. So Abhishek has managed to get the penalty down by 0.9 seconds the last time we checked on him, and he will look to really get rid of these penalties. I mean, not only does he have to get rid of them, he has to make his move, and he, as the Merc of PX, goes really defensive, try to push him into the wall, but yeah, he just sent it down the inside. So that will compromise his exit speed, and this will give a good run into the turn 1 to the Merc of PX. Merc, a pretty solid car all around. I mean, if you choose Merc, it's rare that you'll go wrong with this car. Pretty good all-round car in the game, and that's why we see a lot of guys driving this car in the manufacturers or even the daily race. Right, so goes for the move on the outside. He holds down the inside line of Abhishek, as Abhishek ghosted somehow. So this gives PX to hold his racing line somehow. And now we'll see if he sends it down the inside. I mean, these guys are battling really hard side by side, and again Abhishek ghosted, luckily for both of them, and Abhishek has furthermore penalties, and he really loses the car on the exit. So not a good day for Abhishek. He started P5, he's still in P5, but he would have been looking forward to make as many positions as possible at the start of the race. And his competitors, guys like Stashy and Ancient Pleb, I'm judging by the timesheets in the pro draft, those two guys are really running away with the race. So pretty good gap between the Ancient Pleb, Stashy in his Porsche, Flipper in the Lamborghini, PX in P4, Abby again coming back and trying to catch him in P5. So we have, I just noticed, the top 7 guys who are in the race are all in different constructors. So it's pretty good mix of cars. So cheers to everyone who, I don't know, decided or they just went for it. Skinny, meanwhile, in his favorite Brazzers Porsche livery, not doing quite well. I mean, there are scratches and dents all over his car. So yeah, not the race he would have hoped for. Elsewhere, let's have a look. Any close battles? The only close battle we have right now is the battle for P4 between PX and Abhishek. Abhishek did drift into the first sector, but he is able to catch right back up to him as PX seems to be losing his card just a bit, allowing Abhishek to close up right up to him. And now he's just half a second behind, so job well done catching up to him. Further back we can see a battle between Dr. White and Harry closing in. They're both quite close to each other as Harry drifts into the corner. Call that a commentator's curse, but all the momentum is now lost, so it's going back to the drawing board for him. And further up again, the only battle now that we have into our hands is between Abhishek and PX Merc, between the Audi, two German rivals. Let's see if Abhishek is able to make this move stick. I mean, in all honesty, he should, unless the Merc decides to defend. But now he hits the wall, kills all the momentum he got, and he has to slot up right behind PX, and the race continues. So we'll have to wait up to the final corner now to see how that goes. Abhishek will be looking to make the move stick into the turn 1 of Sardegna A track. Speaking of Sardegna, especially this layout, I think this is a pretty good, pretty beautiful layout. Plenty of opportunity to overtake, plenty of space to race side by side. As we see the Mercedes losing the traction, getting too eager, and that will really allow the Audi of Abhishek to make the move much before turn 1. Let's stay on board with him and see how he managed to do that. Mercedes decides to defend, and he's weaving all over the place. Unlike Formula 1, I'm not really sure if you're allowed to move more than once in a straight while defending. Abhishek really goes deep and into the back of PX, but luckily no damage for either of them. No penalty for Abhishek, who has garnered a lot of penalties in this race, and he's yet to get rid of all of them. Any other field? Did the Lexus fall in even further back? So I'm not really sure what happened there, and that has allowed Skinny to catch up to Harry in his Lexus. So let's see the tire wear. Yeah, just slightly better is Lexus. Audi's a lot better, I must say, compared to Dr. White, and Dr. White has caught up to these guys surprisingly. Maybe these two are battling too hard, and that has allowed Dr. White to close up to him. So now he's on the inside, he has to brake late, and I'm sure Abhishek will be looking to make the move stick. He's ghosting somehow, and I think that's allowing PX to just attack him right back, ghosting and going right through him. But this time he has made the move stick, but Slipstream is still very much into effect here, as not the best place to overtake. So PX being smart enough to wait right after the final corner to use the slipstream and go back up to P4. So it's a three-way battle now, which is good to see, and these guys are really keeping it clean. McLaren of Dr. White is right on tail. Look at him, just under 2/10 gap. So it's more of, oh, he hits the wall, so that will kill some of the speed, and you can see how much he's gained because of that. And McLaren, oh, Mercedes goes to the right. I'm not sure if we can see him, if his radar is on. Both trying to use the slipstream from the Audi of Abhishek ahead, and both are catching him up. But who will be the latest breaker of them? And Dr. White goes really deep, and he gets himself a 5-second penalty. So not really sure if that's deserved. The game is under scrutiny for its unfair penalties, but it is what it is. So Dr. White will have to work to get rid of his penalty, and Abhishek gets even more penalties. I'm not really sure what's going on with him, and I think I didn't see Abhishek cutting some corner or getting in contact with someone, so not really sure how he managed to get all those penalties. And the thing working right now for Abhishek is the McLaren Merc of Dr. White and PX are battling each other, so that is allowing Abhishek to get in front. So I think the field is pretty much spread out now. Coming back to Ancient Pleb, 8.5 seconds up in the lead. I mean, this guy showed quite pretty cool livery. I just noticed there's a couple of skulls onto the front, so yeah, that's a good job on the livery. So yeah, I mean, just like the Pro Draft time trial, Ancient Pleb is really dominating this. You can see, I mean, just like the Mercedes does it in Formula One, you know, in preseason testing, they'll say that the competitors in Ferraris and Red Bull, they're doing pretty well and they have to step up their game. Similar thing Asian Pleb did and said that he can go faster, but he's unable to. But you can see here, over 8.5 seconds. And this is just the start of the 9th lap. So it's over a second a lap he's pulling away from the guy in P2, that's Stashy in his Porsche, who is in a pretty comfortable position, I must say. I mean, 8.5 seconds to P1 and over 7 seconds to P3. So he's running a race of his own. He's in a world of his own. So don't think Ancient Pleb or Stashy will complain, and even Flipper for that matter. I mean, 7.5 seconds in front, almost 9 seconds at the back. But we'll have to wait and see, as Abhishek is still has 7 seconds time penalty. So we have to wait and see if Abhishek is able to close that gap down to PRX Flipper. Only time will tell, and hopefully he's able to get rid of his penalty as he drifts through that corner. That corner is pretty good, actually. I mean, it's such a blind corner. You really have to know when you have to go full throttle at the exit. Further down the field, PX, he's in space on his own. He managed to pull away by 3 seconds to Dr. White's McLaren. He has got a time. But further back down the field, PRX has made a move. Oh, we somehow missed that. PRX Skinny has made the move on Harry. So Harry seems to be struggling. Tire wear wise, both are very much similar. But yeah, Skinny holding on to the inside and holding on to P7 as Ancient Pleb is into the pits. Fuel wise, he has done much better than what Stashy has done. 33% to Stashy's 29%. So he has managed to save some fuel here. We are halfway through the race, as I just noticed the time, more than half. And he has fueled his car up to the brim. And everyone else further down the field is down in the pits. Stashy has 92%, so not going all out with the fuel. Flipper, we'll see. The fuel at 86, again, a bit less than what Stashy did. Let's see how much Abhishek gets in. So this has really spiced up things. He goes full tank, did Abhishek, and Dr. White goes, wow, 59%. So everyone going on a different strategy here. So as far as I'm concerned, Ancient Pleb ran over half the race on his 70% tank, so I'm not really sure what was the need of going full tank, but of course the gap was such that, you know, he can afford to do that. But we'll have to wait and see. Stashy is on the lighter load of fuel, so he should be able to close up the gap ever so slightly. We'll have to wait and see. Further down the field, the gap is pretty evenly spread out. Harry is right on tail of Skinny. The battle for between both of them, I won't say that they are in net P5 and P6 because they are yet to pit. Abhishek's still trying to get rid of those penalties. Really unfortunate for him to garner all these penalties in the initial lap, so that might hurt him a bit. Dr. White is a couple of seconds behind him, so he should, if he manages to close the gap to Abhishek and stay with him and not fight with him too much. And I think the penalties that Abhishek has right now, he will have no option, thus Abhishek, to slow down and get rid of him, or just keep pushing, burn out his tire and pull away from Dr. White. Because at the moment, even if the gap stays as it is right now, Abhishek will finish behind Dr. White. PRX Skinny and Harry are the only one to not pit. Will PRX Skinny pit? And so did PX. So PX is in the pits, Skinny is in the pits, and Harry is continuing. So let's see PX, how much fuel does he fill in. Oh, and he's running proximity livery, by the way. Him and Abhishek are running proximity livery, so cheers to them. PRX Skinny comes out right behind PX, so this should be an interesting battle now. If Skinny doesn't bottle it and he managed to stay on his tail, Slipstream will definitely help him as he is very much in the range. Dr. White is on his own. Abhishek is right behind Harry, and will Harry let him through? Harry, yeah. Hope you don't mind if I pronounce your name otherwise. So Hari is defending from Abhishek, even though he's on a much older tire. We can see here the tire wide gap between all of them, as Abhishek is still carries 4.5 seconds, and with Hari defending from Abhi, that's allowing Dr. White to close up the gap to Abhishek, and Abhishek is still unable to close the gap to make his move on Hari. And I think he's waiting. He's just waiting for turn one to just come up so that he could have a comfortable move. Hari with his one tires will be really slow here. It's much slower than what Abhishek would have liked, and Abhishek must be really getting impatient behind the wheel. So Hari goes really wide, allowing. Oh, there's a bit of a contact between those two, but that allows Abhishek to go through. Hari will have the swift tip. I think Hari should pit in now. He's the only one to not pit, and without losing any more time, and which he is into the pit. Sorry about that. 17% of fuel. So I think that's been managed pretty well. Is his fuel? We'll have to wait and see where he comes, and he's already been overtaken by the rest of the guys. So he has lost a lot of time, as you can see. Did Hari? Hari was. In fact, battling Skinny before Skinny made his pit stop, but the lap is so long over here that you lose all the momentum that you have had before your pit stop. Right, let's see any battles going on. 11.5 seconds. Ancient Pleb, I think this is just ridiculous. The gap that he's building up on a heavier car to Stashy. Stashy in P2, comfortably in P3 is Flipper as well. Abhishek in P4. He's trying to pull away from Dr. White. Dr. White is doing quite a commendable job of staying with him, but so is Abhishek by getting the penalties down and managing the gap to Dr. White and holding on to his position. So yeah, we can see here how the penalty is coming down now. 7/10 did it come down in that braking zone, so really well done from Abhishek. So the closest battle we have, I think, right now is for P4. Let's have a look further down the field. So PX is 8.5 seconds and 8.5 seconds behind, and 1.5 seconds in front of PRX Skinny. Skinny will be looking to stay as close as possible to PX and possibly get that P6 off him. Hari meanwhile has had a spin, and what was that corner? And I think that was the tight left-hander, and he just went onto the power much earlier than he would have liked, trying to close the gap into Skinny. So yeah, it's there to see that how much time you can lose and how much pressure that it can put upon you trying to close that gap. So 17 seconds is the gap, and I don't think I see any way of the Lexus of Hari closing that gap down. Let's get back to the battle that we have in our hand. 2.3 seconds is the penalty, so he's doing really good job getting that penalty down. A second behind is still Dr. White in his McLaren. I must say that the stock livery for McLaren is quite simple, but I do really love it. I mean, whatever lines they have got, especially at the back here, I think that really accentuates the back of the car, makes it look even wider than it actually is. As Abhishek just managed to avoid the wall, and so does Dr. White, but in doing so, Dr. White has lost a second in that corner alone, or close to second, so the gap is 2.1 seconds. So that will give some breathing gap to Abhishek, and trying to get that, the quest to get that time slowdown penalty down. Well, I'm speaking so much I forgot what I was trying to say, but I was saying that that will give some breathing space to Abhishek to get that penalty down as he hits the grass, almost lifts the car, but well done to him to hold on to his car. So really the only close battle that we have right now is between PX and Skinny, and look at that, Skinny going on the inside. What a place to make the move, and that was a really bold move, and penalty system again shows how broken it is. Gives the penalty to PX, and I think that is really unlucky penalty. I mean, undeserved, but that was a move where you won't expect anyone to make a move, but Skinny does it. Maybe he imagined his car is really skinny and he just sent it down the inside, or was it outside? I think that was inside, that turned into outside of the left-hander, but what a move by Skinny. But I don't think the battle is still over, as the Merc is closing in on the Porsche. Porsche not known for its high-end speed, really good in the corners, but top end speed is what it lacks. So Merc is already 7 tenths, 6 tenths behind him, so very much in the slipstream range. And PX, I'm sure, will not be happy with the move that he made. He will not be expecting, he might not have been expecting that move, to be honest. I mean, I wouldn't have, especially in that corner, and I would have been really pissed by anyone who would have sent their car on the inside. And the battle is still going on for P6. Further down the field, oh, the gap between Harry and Ancient Pleb is over a minute now, minute and 17 seconds. Ancient Pleb is continuing his dominance, stretching his gap, and so is Tashi from Flipper and Flipper from Abhishek. So Abhishek's penalty is down to 6 tenths, which is now really easy. And I mean, it's 4.5 seconds gap now to him and Dr. White, so it's a really easy task for him to get that penalty off. And I mean, even if he decides to not get it off, max penalty he will get is a second, and he is very well off that gap. So really the only battle that we have right now is between the two German manufacturers, between Porsche and Merc, between Skinny and PX. Will the Merc go on the outside, brake late, or do a switchback as Skinny goes into the wall? He not really sure what is going on there. I wasn't on board with him, but he went into the wall. As I can see, PX is slowing down. Was there contact? I really don't think so, but Skinny did go into the wall. But yeah, PX is flashing his light as if to indicate that he was sorry, or maybe he had nothing to do with it. Hello. Yeah, as my wife makes my video of commentating. Right, getting back to the race. So the only real battle now coming back to P6, as both of them really going head over heels to claim P6. I mean, yeah, judging by what the gap between everyone else is, Abhishek has managed to get the gap down, but he's in the clutch of McLaren somehow. I'm not really sure what went down there. The gap was 4 seconds, and we have just under 4 minutes now of the race left. And was Abhishek waiting for Dr. White? We'll have to ask and know later on. But PX is pulling away from Skinny now. Something must have happened. Tire wear seems pretty even between both of them, so tire wear is definitely not the issue. The gap is stretching between Dr. White and Abhishek, so I'm not really sure what's going on between those two, as McLaren of Dr. White goes into the grass and allowing Abhishek to have a run onto him at turn 1, which I believe he will. Pretty easy move for P4. Let's see down the field. The gap is 1.5 seconds, so nothing happening over there. So let's just stick to this battle between Germany and Great Britain. Germany seems to come out on top at turn 1, but will McLaren brake lead? He tries to stick it on the outside, but Abhishek with the better exit speed managed to but get P4 off Dr. White. But let's not forget that there is 2.5 minutes left, as Abhishek goes really wide. That will compromise his run on the exit, but he parks the bus on the exit and defends really well. So this is quite an interesting battle. McLaren goes down the inside, but Abhishek was having none of it. Right, so McLaren coming back to the race, as I was distracted by my wife recording me commentate. Right, so McLaren, I think I need to speak to or ask Abhishek and Dr. White. Look at this. The gap is such at the front that he has decided to make another pit stop without refueling. So such was the dominance, and look at him. Stashi is just coming up to the pit start, and Ancient Pleb is very much at turn 1. So if you want to see what sandbagging looks like, here's a prime example, making a 2-stop work while everyone else is on a 1-stop. Skin is right back up to him, so I'm not really sure what's going on between these guys. I mean, at 1 second they're pulling a gap, and next second they're right on each other's tail. So next lap, which I believe should be the final lap, Doc. I'm sorry, I'm distracted by my wife. So yeah, Dr. White does a switch back, pretty good move. Holds on to P4, so this is the final lap for everyone else. Yeah, Ancient Pleb. Yeah, so I think Ancient Pleb will run one more lap out of this because he will cross the line before the timer runs out, and I think so will Stashy. But I think guys like Dr. White and Abhishek, I think this is the final lap for them. We'll have to wait and see. This is a really close battle for P4. Anything can happen, so this should get really interesting. Further down, no battle as such. So this is the only battle we have as Dr. White spins. What is that corner that he made? I think this was the exit of that. Yes, it is. So maybe they had a collision. If they had a collision, I don't think, because the game would have given Abhishek another penalty. But I think he just went on to the power much earlier than he would have liked. So such was the pressure in the battle that resulted in Dr. White spinning out. But another battle that we have right now is between Skinny and PX. They're still going on head over heels for P6. So this is really interesting race, really good race, clean race overall, as a timer runs out now. So yeah, so Ancient Pleb is on his final lap, so is Stashy. Flipper finishes the race, crosses the line. The final step on the podium is his in P3. Abhishek, after a lot of incidents, lot of penalties, rounding off the final corner, and he will cross the line in P4. Not the best result for him he would have hoped for, but P4 it is. It was just an invitational race, and Dr. White drifting around the final corner will take P5. But the battle for P6 is still very much on, as PR Skin is on the inside. So this will be very much a drag race between the two German manufacturers. Who will win? Porsche, not known for its top end speed. I think the disadvantage will show. Merc on the inside. Oh, did he lift there? I'm not really sure, but I think Skinny will have it just on the line, and Skinny and PX finishes in P6 and P7 respectively, and Harry rounding off everyone else into P8, the final place, the final standing on the timesheet, coming up to the penultimate corner, the real penultimate corner, and he loses his card just for fun, because why not? So again, he'll round off the final. Right, so the final corner coming up, and he drifts along the way. I'm not sure if that's on purpose or he's just losing the control of his car. Tire is pretty bad, we can see. Did he not change his tire? Okay, I think the tire was the issue. So Harry crosses the line in P8, and we are through the race. So well done to Ancient Pleb, finishing off with a two-stopper. Nice sandbagging there. And Stashy in P2 and Flipper in P3, rounding off the podium. Well, pole position and fastest lap to boot, so that's a job well done by Skinny. So congratulations to everyone who participated and everyone who finished. And this was just a pre-season race. Our season 1 will start next Sunday at 11 p.m. So hopefully we'll get to see a lot of races there. I will be there. And yeah, for everyone who tuned in, thank you very much, and I'll see you guys later. Good night.